Hey, I'm Dallas with Lower Gear Outdoors. We're a Hobie kayak dealer in Tempe, Arizona. Today I want to take a look at two of Hobie's inflatables. They've had inflatable models for 10 or 15 years now. They've gone through a few evolutions. This is the latest version of them. There's an 11 and a 9, iTrek 9, iTrek 11. And let's take a closer look at the difference between them. There's some price differences, and then we'll do a complete walkthrough for you. The big benefit of any inflatable is transportation and storage. This is the storage bag for the i9. The 11-footer is just slightly bigger than this, but both can be checked on the airline and to fly with. So they're basically just a big suitcase. The 11-foot is technically 10 foot 8 inches, and the 9-foot is technically 9 foot 5 inches. That extra foot and change does make a difference in performance. Just like with any other kayak, the longer they are, they tend to track a little bit better, and you gain a little bit more stability, everything else being equal. They're both 40 inches wide. The carrying capacity on the 11-foot one is 400 pounds, and this one's 350. To the extent that's a big deal one way or another, sort of depends on the size of the rider. I think most people are going to be a little bit happier with performance on the water with the 11-foot, but it is a little bit more expensive, a few $100s more expensive, and it is a few pounds heavier, maybe 8 or 9 pounds heavier, which could come into play in some cases. As we work our way back, they both have a handle up front, and again, these are very lightweight for somebody to carry. The 11-foot does have some front bungee for stores that the 9 does not. They both use the same drive. What comes standard at the time we're doing this is Hobie's GT Kickup drive. It does not have the 180 functionality. They both have a receptacle for a mast or a bimini top. Probably the bimini top is more practical with these than a sail. With this very flat bottom, they are both very, very stable, almost impossible to flip over, but you are a little susceptible to wind and current because you don't have anything going down into the water. The seats on them are interchangeable. They have the same steering mechanism for left and right. We'll get into that a little bit later. They both have rear storage capabilities with the bungee. On the 11, it's a little bit bigger. They're both going to come with the paddle. And so there's no such thing as this one's better than that one. It's all purely on your preferences. If you want to really minimize weight, the 9 has a roll. The 11-footer is going to be a little more stable, will track a little bit better, will be better. The bigger you are, then you'd be better served in the 11-footer. There is a structural difference in that the 9 is one large compartment bladder, and the 11 has 3 separate ones, and they each have their advantages. On the 11, if you have 3 different bladders, then should you get a leak in one and the other 2 are not impacted, with the 9 with just one single bladder, you have less to worry about any kind of internal seam splits or anything like that. So there's pros and cons to both. We're in Arizona. We tell all local customers, be careful how you store these in the heat. They're very, very durable, but they're not quite, obviously not as durable as plastic ones. And we suggest to the snowbirds, for example, if you're going to leave this here during the summer, open it up so it's not folded up like this all summer long in 120-degree heat. Also remind everybody to remember your high school physics. If you pump these up to the right pressure first thing in the morning, get on the water for a few hours and come ashore, you're probably going to want to let some of the air out so it does not blow it up that way from the heat pressure. So let's look at some of the mechanics of it in detail. The heart and soul of all Hobie pedal drive kayaks is the MirageDrive. This one, as mentioned, is the GT with kick up. The kick up refers to if you hit something, they're hinged, and that helps protect these fins. It's a penguin fin kind of thing where you're doing this gym machine motion. This is flexing in the water, pushing it behind you. It's a very efficient transfer of energy between you and forward motion. There's a lot of bicycle type parts. There's chains and sprockets and foot pedals. The seat on these stays put, but you can adjust the leg length on all drives by just pushing that button and moving it back and forth like that. One thing that you're going to want to do when you're sitting, when you have the seat in the position that you want, when you push out like that with either leg, you still want to have some bend in your knee. So you don't want to be hyperextended. Very, very similar to the way they would teach you how to do a bicycle fitting for the seat height. One great thing about advantage of the fin style over the prop style, they're very easy to get in and out. Let's say I'm coming ashore. Well, first off, if I see an obstruction, I can just push my feet like that, and the fins are going to come up underneath like that. You can pass over most obstructions. If you're coming ashore or otherwise have some other obstruction where that's not going to work, you just lean over, it's click, click, and out. And then after you've launched, or any other reason after you've had it out, you just snap it in, it's locked in, and it's ready to go. The structure of the hull is basically a paddleboard, so you can paddleboard these, but the great thing about it is it's a paddleboard with a seat and a drive, so very, very comfortable. It's a quick dry mesh. You can take it off and use it as a beach or a camp chair as well. It's got some nice features. You can adjust the level of recumbency back and forth this way with these straps. It is attached to the hull so that you're secure here by straps on these D-rings here. And then there's also some what we call taco clips in the back that it just snaps in there, and you can further secure it with that bungee just pulling it over there. It does come with a water bottle holder and the left and right steering mechanism. You can change those around if you prefer to have one on the left or the right. They both move very easy. There is a red button underneath here, and if I pull that out, this just slides right off, and then I can snap it back on. And the same thing, the water bottle holder works the same way. And then I'll show you how to raise and lower the rudder. Like everything on these, the steering mechanism is all modular. It pops off for transportation. We talked about the little red button that's on the steering handle or the water bottle holder. There's also one back here on the rudder. So I can pull the little red button and just pull that out. That makes it very easy to store away. The raising and lowering of the rudder is a little bit different on these, but it's, to admit, it takes a little bit of practice. But what you're going to do, and this can be on either side, it can be on your left or right hand side, you're going to snap this to raise it and lower it. So you always want the steering pointed your direction, and I'm going to take it and just give it a little snap, and that'll raise up. And when you're launching, that's the way you would do it. It's actually easier when it's on water and it's not rocking on a sand. But that and that. Oh, the key educational piece here is you cannot just pull it. That won't get it there. So it's more, you let it get momentum and you just pull it up like that. I'm going to walk through a couple of steps of taking this down to be able to get it back into its suitcase. You don't have to fool with all this tarp. We're getting ready to ship this one out tomorrow to a customer. So we're trying to keep it as clean as possible. But the process would be the same. First thing you're going to do is remove this dust cover. And this is a fairly universal style valve with all paddle boards and inflatable kayaks. Most of them, I should say. Right now it's fully inflated. To deflate it, I'm going to push this button down and turn it clockwise. And I'm going to let nature take its course. It will come to a equilibrium. And while the air is escaping, I'm going to start removing the seat and the rudder and other things. We'll show you how to fold it up. Once the air sort of reached the equilibrium with the outside air, then it's time to get as much out of it as possible. You can roll these up and squeeze some more air out, but the pump that comes with it does have a deflate function. Now you can use this. It's a whole lot quicker if you have an electric battery operated pump. It's a bit of a workout to get this one. It's all one large compartment, but first thing I want to do with these is pop that back to close it. And this is a fairly, again, universal in the paddleboard and kayak world. That is going down there. And this is going to take a while. I'm not going to bore you with that, but once we've got all the air out of it, we'll resume. This is the collapsed state that you're looking for. The more air that you get out of it, the easier it will be to get back into its suitcase. You're also going to generally want to let this stuff dry out before you fold it back up. So if you've got it at a lake, you may want to just throw it in the back of your car, take it home in the garage, let it dry out, and then put it back in its suitcase. But this is what you're looking for, make it a whole lot easier to get in. Didn't talk about this earlier. This is called the cassette plug, and it just snaps into the drive hole in the event that you ever wanted to paddle this rather than use the drives if you're out in some shallow water or any other reason. And it's a good place to store it for, to get it back into the suitcase, just keep it out of your way. The first thing you're going to want to do in all these, and one thing I really want to emphasize, I'm going to do it a way, it's not the way. You may well find an easier way to do it, whatever works best for you, but the general idea is going to be the same. The first thing you're going to do is fold these in, and how much they touch or overlap, that's just going to be a matter of experimenting. But we're going to get this and first fold it in on itself all the way down, and then we're going to start folding it in on top of each other, and you'll see the end result here in just a second. Okay, we're at the final stages. Here are all the individual pieces that come with the package. Here is the hole. There is a little strap, 1-inch strap here that can help keep it together. There's the seat, the two-way pump that comes with it. There's also a small electric battery-operated air pump here. Sometimes people want to get rid of that and get them a much better quality one, maybe one with the built-in gauge. We recommend that if you're going to be pumping this up and down a lot. You'll probably be happy in the long run, spend a little bit of money and get a better electric pump. A 4-piece paddle. There's the water bottle holder, the rudder, comes with the repair kit, owner's manual, and the drive. And we're going to get all that in here. Sometimes, rather than wrestle with it, we just leave the drive out. In some cases, it will fit. The 9 fits a little bit better in its suitcase than the 11 does in it. But we'll show you what we end up with here. And in one form or another, this is what it's going to look like. You can get the drive in there, but almost always you just have to keep an Allen wrench with you and take that single bolt out on each side. That would allow you to put the arms down in there separately. To me, it's not worth it. You would just carry them separately, but if necessary for like on a flight or something, you could do that. This just zips up this way. Same on the other side. And then it's got some cinch straps there to secure it. Pretty solid. Again, just make sure it's dry before you fold it all back up for any type of long-term storage. So we have these in stock almost all the time. There's going to be a little bit of a shortage of these in the next few months that we're doing this in early 2026. There's also an angler version of the inflatables that will soon be out, and we'll have those in stock in a few weeks. If we can help you out with this or any other kayak needs, just let us know. Give us a call. Check us out at lowergear.com.